Hey guys, it's Maymay, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize now for all of the fuzz, because there's going to be fuzz everywhere, because we're going to use some burlap today. So you're going to see it flying around, but I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. So let's get started. This is a placemat from the Dollar Tree. It's called a decoration, but most people use them for placemats. And like I said, it's from the Dollar Tree. It was $1. It's kind of that thick felt material, and when I saw it I thought, you know, we could use this guy. We've made a lot of burlap wall hangings. We've made bunny ones, we've made Christmas ones because I did a Christmas tree. How cool will this be to be a wall hanging made with some burlap and stuffed like we've done before? So let's get started. I'm going to use some white burlap tonight, and this is where you're going to see stuff flying because it is going everywhere. So just a warning. This is just white burlap that's sold on the bolt at like Walmart or anywhere like that. And this leaf, I'm going to glue it down, leaving myself a little bit of gap at the top, about a ½ inch there. And I'm going to leave myself about ½ inch down here, just making sure I have a little gap because we're going to glue this piece down, then we're going to cut it out and leave some of that white edge. I thought that'd be pretty, and it's not really white, it's more of a cream color. Alright, so I've got my hot glue gun heating up here to the side. So let's just see how easy this is to do. You know what I better do? I better not do a double layer of burlap. I'm going to take the second layer out from underneath, just move it out of our way, because we don't want to glue that down. Alright, so we're working with a single layer of burlap now, and we're going to glue this guy into place, like so. So I'm going to just lean it up, and I'm going to put glue around the edge here. And you can glue the middle too. I don't really think you're going to need to. I think just getting glue around the edges is going to be plenty. So then I'm going to lay that down. And the cool thing is that glue's not coming through this felt, so we're able to press it pretty good too. So I'm going to glue this little portion down, like so. Now I'm using this for an inside piece. I usually do that with these burlap pieces like this. I hang them either inside or I hang them in a place where the weather doesn't get to them. So think about that too. You don't want these hanging out where the rain or anything's going to get on them because they're fabric and they're going to be stuffed. So look how it just lays into place. I like that. That makes it easy. So I'm going to continue gluing down. Just let that fall into place. I like how it pops over and where it's supposed to be. That's cool. I think I need a little glue. Well, it seems to be sticking good. And now let's get this bottom part. This is not going to be a difficult project to do, by the way. This is going to be super easy. Now, when you're gluing this down, make sure you protect your work surface. I'm working on my cutting mat, so I'm not real worried about that, but make sure you got something underneath this because that glue is going to seep through the burlap onto your undersurface. Now, in the middle here, see these pieces, how they kind of lift up? I am going to secure those with some glue just because when we stuff this, we don't want them to kind of poke out funny. We want them to be adhered down. I'm just going to glue those into place. Now I just finished gluing him down and I doubled the burlap back. I put that second piece underneath it because now we are going to start to adhere it together. And I'm going to have to cut this little piece off here to the side. Now I'm not going to adhere the bottom yet. I'm going to use that for stuffing, okay? So we're going to come up here to the top and we're going to adhere this down. And the way I'm going to do it is to run glue around the leaf here, and I can see through this burlap, so this is going to work fine. I'm just going to take this glue and everywhere that leaf is, just run some glue to adhere this together. Just like that, and then seal that shut. So that's going to create our pocket because we're doing 2 layers. Okay, we're going to trim it out afterwards. So I'm going to do this side now. I can see through here again. If you're doing this in a well-lit room and you're using this light burlap, you'll be able to see through it. You'll probably be able to see through it if you have regular burlap too. Just going to glue that and just continue going until I get it all glued together. Now while that hot glue is cooling, I'm going to come in and trim the leaf shape out with my scissors. Now you decide how detailed you want to be here. You can be as detailed as you want or just as loose as you want with your trimming. I will probably be a little looser than detailed because that's just how I do things. So see how I'm just kind of mimicking the shape like this. Get in there a little bit, come around here. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so you see how I just kind of mimicked that portion of the leaf, and then I'll come in and do the rest of it too. But I'm going to go around this way first. So I have this guy all glued together except for the bottom. Okay, I've left the bottom open for stuffing, and I went ahead and trimmed it out, and I did not trim it out perfect. I just did a rough cut around that leaf. Now I'm going to use some of this polyfill or fiber fill, and I have a good bit of it, probably way more than I'm going to need. I'm just pulling some off. And I keep a bag of this in my craft room because you just never know when you're going to need it. So now I'm just going to open this guy up and just stick this in. And I'm not going to make it really, really thick. I just want it to have a little bit of body to it to kind of be a little bit like a pillow, but not a lot. And I'm just going to work it up in there into all those little corners. Now the cool thing about this project, if you're a sewer, you could certainly sew this. I know this, sometimes when I'm using all this hot glue like this, a lot of people don't like to use hot glue, but you could certainly sew this project, no issue. It might even be cool, I was thinking, if you did a blanket stitch around the leaf, like if you stitched it down with a blanket stitch, I think that'd be cool. Now when you're getting to this point, you want to make sure you don't get too much stuffing because you still got to seal that down. So I'm going to stop there and bring my hot glue back over. And I'm just going to run this hot glue right inside here. Probably hard for you guys to see where I'm running this glue. But at this point, I can pretty much just seal it all the way down. My glue has gotten super hot, so I'm going to let that sit for a minute and hold it in place. Now, I think it's super cute just like it is, kind of puffy like this, but I'm thinking about adding a couple things. So at this part up here, I'm going to let this be the top. Get that little fuzz off. I'm going to let this portion be the top, and I'm going to add a bow to the top with this ribbon. So just going to unwrap this a good bit. Now here's how I'm going to do my bow. I'm going to make some tails, or make one tail, so that's about how long I'm going to want both tails to be, and then a loop, okay? Then another loop, coming back to it, and this is double-sided ribbon, so it makes this really easy. I'm going to make another loop in the back the same size, like so. And then it's at the back, I'm going to take it and turn it so that that tail comes down this side, okay? Don't worry, this will look really good when we finish. It's basically like a figure eight. See what we did? Now I'm going to take this guy, put him in the middle, and scrunch this ribbon up, and then seal it down with my pipe cleaner. Or chenille stem. I had somebody ask me the other day if my chenille stems were just pipe cleaners. They are, but when you work in a craft store, back when I did, they didn't let you call them pipe cleaners. We had to call them chenille stems, so it's in my vocabulary now. So I just say chenille stems. Alright, so I cut that loose, and you can see how we got a good bit of a bow started. A little off center, but let's fix that. Just kind of flip it. Alright, now I want to glue this down to here. And I don't need all that, so I'm just going to trim that off. And I just put these into my little box and keep those. So this guy will get glued right there with a good bit of hot glue. So it'll get into the fibers and stay well. So there's that. And now I'm going to add one of these big sunflowers to the back. Or to the middle of the bow. Just going to press that down in. Like so. And I decided to add a second sunflower, so I'm going to put it over to the side. Just push it in here so it'll be nice and full. Okay, gonna let all this dry. Okay, now if you wanted to dovetail your bow edges, you could. I like them just angled like that. That's just kind of how I typically cut them anyway. This wire is acting up on this one. The cool thing about the wire is you can just shape your ribbons any old way you want them. So I'm going to do that like that. Now all we need to do is add a hanger. Alright, so now all we need to do is attach a hanger. And here's what I've got. This is some copper beading wire that I have. And it's kind of like jewelry wire. And I took 2 pieces of it and kind of twisted it together to make it a little more sturdy. And then right here behind the bow and into the burlap, I'm going to poke this through, kind of like we did on that wreath earlier this week, where I'm just going to stitch this into a hole. And then I'm just going to fold this up so that it makes like a hook, and it's going to hold that in place. I'm going to do the other side too. I know it's difficult for you guys to see. I'm just finding a spot where the burlap has kind of a hole already and feeding that through. And then once I get it through, I'm just folding it over to make a hook. You're not going to see it anyway because your bow is going to be over that. But now we have a hook to hang it from. I love this. Let me see if I can get this where you can see it in screen again. So there we go. That's most of it. But that's all there is to it, guys. A Dollar Tree placemat and a little bit of burlap, a couple of flowers and some ribbon. And you got a cute little fall wall hanging. I hope you enjoyed that one. I really think this one turned out super cute. I'll hang it up and show you what it looks like in pictures too. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you guys on Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.